And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cisco's Modded Adventure. And I got a little bit of a recap as to what I have done offline before this episode. And this episode, what I can tell you is we are going to help maximize all our stats as well as get into a little bit of Ars Nouveau and maybe making a brand new sword. Just because I don't think there's anything that I could get from here that would affect our damage anymore or anything of that degree. So, what I do want to go over is that I did finally make ourselves our new armor, which is oh, this guy, the dark steel. You can't really see the stats properly with everything displayed like that, but as you can see, this guy is just, or if I just put recipe, as you can see, it's just bright steel mixed with a little bit of dark steel, and we get this guy. Dark steel is a pretty simple recipe, which is just bright steel alloy, which we have a ton of, and then netherite ingot in here. You get one of these. So you only need 4 to make the armor set, and the armor is pretty strong. If we take a quick look at it. Wait, yes, it's over here. I forgot you mix it. But yeah, as you can see, we do get like an armor increase per spot. This one's actually 2. And of course, the toughness, I believe, is the same as before at a full 20. So yeah, I did make ourselves some brand new armor. Let me grab that real quick just so that I can show you guys what we are going to be rocking with. My inventory is a mess just because we are going to be messing with quite a bit of stuff, but I guess we could get into ours first and then we could dabble in the XP stuff. But first, I'd rather go over everything in my armor just so you guys know what we are working with. And to go over our armor, if we were to hover over this, as you can see, we got some decent stats from this, increasing our armor and our toughness, as well as getting a little bit of spell resistance. I threw on the combat gem just because we'll get some arrow velocity, so if we do decide to use a bow, we'll do a little bit more damage on that bow, just because of this little perk, as well as we got some extra armor and increased damage, which is pretty decent, can't complain. Over here is our chest plate. As you can see, we do have 4 gems allocated in here. One of them is an R spell power gem, which is basically 925% increase in our damage, which is pretty damn nice because it's going to be paired with a couple of others in a moment. Yeah, I did add a gem to reduce physical damage, added a little bit of armor toughness, and increased our max health by 14%. I did not use max gems on these guys. I'd probably say mid tier, so it's the normal type. So it's the one right before flawless and the one right after flawed is just normal. And that's for a majority of these guys. And then moving on from this, if we come over here, as you can see, it increases our mana. And then as for the gems, that's probably the most important part as to why I'm going over all of this is, look at that, 9 Ars spell power. I put 2 of those gems, or they were technically 4.5s, but because of our set bonuses from the passive skill tree, it is double, so we are at 9 plus 9, that's 18. And then, of course, I threw on a nice gem for swimming, just because we are probably going to be using this armor to fight the Guardian, or the Elder Guardian. Yeah, that's the name of him. And just because the closest ocean temple that I did find, which is absolutely bogus, but that dude is level 97. So, I mean, we are basically the same level as him, is just he also has insane amount of health, and I'm not too sure if he was infernal or not, but if he is, it's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be fun, and that's why today I do want to get into ours, just so I could showcase a little bit of stuff. But besides that, that was the boots, and then last but not least, the leggings. So the leggings as well, if we take a quick look, we do have some armor, we got a little bit of armor toughness, some armor's mana, and if you look at the gem slots, we do have a 12, 12, and a 9. So this one, I'm pretty sure it was 2 normal of those gems as well as 1 flawed. I'm pretty sure the flawed is the one that gives you 4.5, but since our armor doubles it, we are at 9. So yeah, this one adds quite a lot of spell power. So if we were to use our spellbook, which before with our older armor, which didn't have all those crazy stats, we were doing about 120 damage for 3 ticks about. So we could say roughly 360 damage for the spell. Now, if we were to equip this armor set, I wonder how much damage it'll do. And I can't really tell unless we get a boss that has some decent health to check that out. But yeah, I can't wait to see how this works, just because if we were to come and use the little attributes list over here and go down to our spell power, it is 522, basically 522% more. Nope, 522 times more damage, I believe. I'm not too sure, but it'll be fun to try that out and see what happens. So, besides that, we did, or I actually boosted some of our stuff over here, so I made sure all this is pretty much nearly full. And if we're to hover over here, as you can see, we do have the crown, the amulet of mana regen. I'm pretty sure we already had this. I did reforge this guy. This is what I did make with our uh, mossy tooth that we got from Meet Your Fight. And as you can see, it does increase our lightning spell power and our holy spell power, as well as it gives us some extra stats, which is going to be super nice whenever we are fighting bosses that are infernals, because it'll save us from taking damage that exceeds over 25% our max health, which will save us a lot. Probably, hopefully. Yes, that's all I could say about that, but yeah. And then we come over here, as you can see, I do have some other pieces of gear that does increase our percentages. And if we take a look at this one, we also have our spellbook, which I did kind of go all the way with the Forge Pearls with our current set, just because I think we might need it, but I haven't put another gem in here, just leaving that 5%. I don't really have many holy spell powers, and I'm thinking of saving that for the holy set instead. Over here, I mean, I haven't really thrown gems on these guys, so I won't really cover those. The only one that I have thrown gems on is this guy. I did remove gems that were on here, just because I do want to put maxed out stuff, just because this will be an endgame item that we are keeping as well as these two. So yeah, if we take a look at this guy, as you can see, we do get 115% spell power, which is insane, but we also have current extra 60 from those 2 gems, which is super nice. And then if we hover over this, as you can see, we get some lightning power, which is nice. It's nice, can't complain. And then all these other guys do have some percentages on them, which do boost us a bit. The only ones that I haven't touched is this guy, just because I got him recently while I was collecting some prismarine. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, prismarine for this episode. And we are going to be making 2 more things that we will be able to equip that'll increase our damage and make us a little more mana efficient, so we can use the attacks more often. So that's going to be pretty cool, as well as they should be able to be reforged to give us bonus stats, which we should be able to put some gems on top of them to just further our overall progress. But yeah, it's kind of crazy what I've been doing, but that is probably the gist of that, and let's get into ours, just because I think this is probably the slightly more confusing part of the episode. Everything else is going to be rather simple, but yeah, this episode is just basically recapping what I've done, getting a couple things from ours, getting our enchantment setup upgraded, and then we'll probably wrap it up just so that we kind of go over how we got a little strong. Oh, but yeah, as well as maybe making 2 new swords, which I'm thinking we should. However, we'll see if time persists. And the first thing we are going to be making is this bangle. So if I press B, I am not sure if I have everything for it. Let's see. Didn't I make this? I swore I thought I did. I guess I didn't. So if we come over here, the first things first is to make that empty thing. So we come over here, click on this, click on that, and just make sure you do click on this if you don't see it right away. Don't accidentally craft something and then regret it just because you just wasted material. So now we do have the Ring of Potential, and since I am here, I'm going to double check if we do have everything, which that should be a-okay. This, let's see, do I have the tribute? Yes, I do. And come over here. Yeah, looks like I should have everything now. So let's head back up here and continue making this thing. So with the Ring of Potential, we first have to make the Enchanter's Bangle, which is 2 blocks of gold and then a Source Gem block as well as an End Crystal. So if we come over here, we grab this. Let's see, we need 4 of these. And hold up, my brother's yelling. I'll be back. Alright, gotta love the weekends. Gotta love when kiddos are home. Never do, but yeah, so you guys hear any background noise? It's them just playing in the hallway. Apologize for that. And let's see, where was I? 2 gold blocks. Let's see, it was 2 gold, this, that, and then it was just in a 4, so please don't blow. Cool. So we put 1 here, 1 there, and then this guy over here, and then we just click the center with that, and after a short period of time, it'll craft up, give us our Enchanter's Ring, and then we are going to need to make a couple Earth Essences to be able to finish this, just because I do have only 1 currently. So to make that, we are going to need iron seeds and dirt. That's basically what's going to go here, and then we are going to have to switch the apparatus for the imbuement chamber, so we'll swap that. And then as long as we put this here, and this should be pulling some source, hopefully, maybe, or is this too far away? Okay, it looks like it is a little too far, so I'll grab this guy and put it right here. Yep, okay, now it's close enough to pull. So looks like the radius of this is kind of small, but boom, just like that, we do get an Earth Essence, and I do believe we need 3 here. Do we need extra over here? We do. So it'd be wise of us to make 6 right now, just because this is going to require 3, and then this one's going to require 3. And if I'm not wrong, I already have 1. Yep. And if you're wondering why we don't have to make the essences, well, all you have to do is thank the quest book, because if you did complete, let's see, which one was it? This one, the scribes table, which is relatively easy, you do get 1 of each, so that's going to help us out quite a bit, just because then I don't have to keep changing of this current setup to get 1 of each essence, which I don't know if you guys remember, in our All Mods Let's Play, I did, or I believe I went over that. So we'll put that out, and looks like I'll have to take that downstairs to our mob farm to refill it. But we also have quite a few of these stockpiled, which is awesome. So just like that, we do have 6. I believe that should be enough, so we can just come over here and remove all these guys and put them back up here. Okay, so the ring, I'm pretty sure it was the cobweb, and then 3 of these guys. You don't really have to follow the pattern I'm doing it. You could have these guys down on the ground, you could have the normal pedestals. I just made them tiny, and I put these guys on the side, and I just haven't moved it. So let's see. I think we switch this back to the apparatus. Then, yep. Looks like that was the little issue, but yeah, just like that. We should get the Earth Bangle, which will increase the damage we do whenever we use an Earth spell, aka whenever we have harm, it's considered an Earth spell, so this will get boosted. So on top of our armor already boosting everything, we just increased it a little bit more right there, which is pretty cool. Now, on to the next item. But first things first, we are going to need to make the Mark of Mastery, which is going to require one of each essence, as well as the Walden Tribute, which we got from slaying the Walden Chimera a few episodes ago. So, let's open this up and grab all of these and just put them everywhere, basically. Just fill this up. Cool. And just this guy. And, oh, I didn't grab this. Boom. What do you mean there's something missing? Yes, one of these. Kind of forgot since I had the other ones there. Didn't realize he just went with the others. Would have been pretty dumb of me to make another just because I wasn't paying attention. But just like that, we do have some marks of mastery, which is going to be highly beneficial for us. Also, if you do not want to use whatever armor there is, how I said, if you're worried about the armor toughness and the armor points that you might be missing out, as you can see, if you just reforge your things over here, you can easily acquire a lot of slots to throw some gems into and boost your armor to a point where you are going to be really safe. But yeah, onto this guy. So we have this, and we just need the lesser, which is just 3 gold, 3 essences, and a shard. So let's grab these guys real quick, toss them down here, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this guy right in the center. Okay, is it Ambience? Yep. So swap this guy out for one more time, and just like that. Ah, cool. Let's grab this guy again, and then put him right there. Now that he's close enough, this will craft the lesser, and then looks like we just put one mark with the lesser at the apparatus, so swap it out again, and then we'll have our focus. So let's get this in hand, nice and ready. So, quick stretch. We are going to be doing quite a lot of damage and saving quite a lot of mana while we do it, which is super. Oh, I thought it used the essences. This is a nice surprise. It's a nice surprise, I won't lie. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. So then we just put one of these marks down, and then this guy. What? Where did that go? Oh, I equipped it else. That had me confused for a moment. I thought it applied it to that. I was like, there's no way. Okay, but cool. Oh, well, that's crazy. So if it's an imbuement chamber here, it cannot pull from far. But if it's the enchanting apparatus, it was easily able to pull from over here. Interesting. But just like that, we have made ourselves a focus. That's pretty nice. Didn't take us too long. So if we were to come over here and toss that in, as you can see, we can actually increase the stats. Let's see, what's this guy looking like? Okay, nature. Honestly, I'll take only lightning and or holy spell power. So looks like if we were to do anything, we'd probably want this guy. which just requires our levels to be higher, which I guess I could do that real quick. Yeah, that's a ton of XP. I did set up a blaze farm over in the level 50 area and have been grinding, as well as, well, I got to like level 220, and then I just claimed all the XP that I had available by clicking this guy, and that boosted me to like 550, and I used quite a bit just reforging and doing all these different things. But yeah, super neat. So if we come back over here, looks like this guy is giving us the best bang for our buck at 61 lightning spell power, so I'll take it. And just like that, we have another one. And if we toss that up here, let's see. They're both evocation. I kinda don't want any of them. So what I like to do is just use a lesser material to just cycle through it. So I'll toss this, toss that, and we'll just grab this because it's the cheapest. Move this, toss that back up there, and as you can see, it just recycled things. So we'll just do that again. And let's see. So there's Ender and Blood. That's not bad. I mean, look at that. 103 mana. That's nice, but I said kind of want spell power. So fire, lightning, and nature. I mean, I did say I want lightning, so it looks like we are going to take this one, which it's not bad. It's not bad. Can't complain. But we could also just toss it in one more time, you know, just in case, just in case. Nah, yeah, it looks like this was pretty good pull. Can't complain too much. After all, we could always just wait till we get a lot more Godforged pearls and then truly attempt to max out our stuff, even though we are at a very good level. So let's toss that in, and if we press U on this, as you can see, the use for these guys is to make these focuses, as well as apply it to the third tier of whatever Ars armor you're using to make the next set, which I am not too sure what the difference is, honestly. I mean, it's the next tier, so you do get a little bit more mana, I guess another tier in the regen, and looks like the armor. Oh, you finally get armor toughness. Or just depends, right? Yeah. Which is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. We might dabble in that just because I do plan on doing the knighthood quest over here, which is to get all these different armors, so it'll be fun to attempt to do all of that. Okay, so let's actually put this on ourselves, and just like that, we just increased our damage, increased our health, increased some of our stats, and we have a unfortunate person just chilling in the village that can be our test dummy. So we'll actually go give that guy a quick visit and see if we could just one-tap him within the first tick. Ooh, a little lag right there. Okay. And let's see, is he still stuck down here? Or did he move? Yep. So, Iron Golem, 280 health. Instant, which tells us we are going to need a boss to truly test our skills, because that was kind of quick. That was a little too quick, honestly. Doesn't really let us think about how much damage we are truly doing. But if I had to randomly guess, I am thinking we are doing like, let's see, I believe we're doing like 3 times more damage from before, so we're doing like 360 damage per tick, maybe even more. I could be wrong, but if that is the case, we should be doing maybe, let's see, a little over 1,000 damage every time we use that. And let's see, whenever we use it, as you can see, it does use very little bit, or basically half of what it truly should be using, which is super amazing. Honestly, really solid setup for ours, because I mean, iron is pretty, or has the odds pretty much stacked against it. So unless you hyper focus on it, it's kind of hard to get the stats to a decent level. But ours looks like is the true magic way we should be going. So, I mean, I'm not gonna give up on iron spells, but I'm gonna focus a little bit on ours. And I mean, as you guys saw my setup and all that stuff, I do plan. Oh, what is that? Oh, I wonder if that's because of the focus or the bangle. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure which one does that, but that's pretty cool. Okay, now on to the next part. Or what was I gonna say? I was saying something about ours. Ours, yes, I do plan on making a lot more glyphs so that I can experiment. And whenever I do come up with a new spell that is kind of crazy and does insane damage, I'll be sure to go over it with you guys just so that if you guys are also following along and playing and doing whatever I'm doing, you guys can see how I can apply it. And then we might mess around, add it to the wands, add a sword, the bow, add it to different things and see how all that works together. But if we come to this backpack and take all this stuff out, we should be able to get into the Apotheosis enchanting setup. So, just like in Soul Rend, I am using seashells just because that is what we are currently at. Just because we haven't been to the Ancient Kingdom and fought the Warden to set up that setup, which would get us to level 80. So, since we are currently still doing level 30 enchants, we are going to start upgrading ourselves. So we'll throw these guys down like this, or first we need water. So let's go grab some water from right here. That's why I had all these bottles. Ooh, I forgot it doesn't stack. So we'll toss that up here and grab the rest of them. Okay, cool. Yeah, just doing the little simple setup. The only thing that might be hard to get is the prismarine as well as the pufferfish. Pufferfish, well, you could fish for them, or thanks to Apotheosis, we do have a recipe where we could just put a fish in the center as well as 4 pieces of bamboo to get these pufferfish. As for the prismarine, there are a few mobs here that will drop the shards. However, what I did was I just went out here into the ocean. Let's come up here, because this is where the actual ocean monument is. Yeah, right here. And well, we can't really mine or get too close because then we'll get that mining fatigue, so we can't really mine. But there are little areas. This one kind of hard to see, but this had a couple prismarine on it. So I went over and mined it, and I just went around the ocean floor looking for little areas. And this area over here also had prismarine. You can't really tell too well, but if we come over here, this little blue, I don't know if that cave that was in here is part of the little structures that were right here that was supposed to resemble some ruins, but this cave had a ton of prismarine, so I mined that up. And then somewhere, oh yeah, right here was another area with prismarine, so I just mined all that, and I, with what you see is how much I came up with. So let's stop talking and get this done. So all you gotta do is prismarine, bookshelves, and then you just put your pufferfish on this side, and just like that, boom. And then we just gotta keep putting the water bottles there, and we just keep getting it. And I do, or I, yeah, I am planning on making a couple more bookshelves than what's truly needed, because you only need 15 to hit that current max. But just like in Solrin, I do make a couple extra bookshelves just so that I can swap out the shelves as I am enchanting them. Just makes it go a little smoother. And let's grab all these guys. Sweet, that should be all of them. So do this again. Let's grab all this. Boom. And let's continue. Won't take too long. Just click and click and click and click. Am I missing a bottle? I am. Oh well, last one. Doesn't really matter too much. And boom, just like that. We do have all our seashells, and it looks like we started with 2 stacks and 20. Now we are at 48, so that's roughly what, a stack and a half of prismarine that you should need to be able to do all this. But yeah, let's head over here, and I guess I could show you guys the stats real quick, but just because you don't really see the number next to our armor anymore, which happens when you exceed a certain armor amount. But if we click over here and look at our armor, we are currently at 222 armor points, which is kind of insane. It's pretty insane, with about 38 armor toughness, so we are pretty strong and shouldn't be taking insane amounts of damage. Before, we were probably at, what, 120? So we've nearly doubled our armor and basically doubled our armor toughness as well. So hopefully we shouldn't get one shot anymore. Hopefully. So yeah, so we come over here, and what do we need to do? Oh yes, I am a little redacted. So we get rid of all of you, and boom, then we replace it with this. Okay, almost there. Okay, that should be everything, and then we could actually infuse it, and thankfully we do have our mana reduction, or not mana reduction, level reduction, so then we could just come over here and infuse them without a care in the world, and just replace them as we go. Let's see. We'll do these two. Cool. And you. And then I'm pretty sure I could start doing way more at a time now. Boom. Okay. Maybe 3 at a time? Yes. Cool. And yeah, we just keep doing this on repeat, and we should... Oh, that's a normal sea shelf? Okay. Gotta be a little careful. Let's see. Nope. Damn. How many more do I have to do before I can do this? Okay. Boom. Boom. Maybe that's the magic. Okay, that's infused. Throw that. That's infused. Put these two down. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then these two. Technically, we shouldn't really need it, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just because that'll help us in the future. And just like that, our Eterna is at 27. Wait. I should be able to remove 2 and still be... Okay. What is wrong? Did I miscalculate, or did I not turn one of these guys? Infused? Okay. Infused. Yeah, they are all infused. Oh, I'm just redacted. Never mind. Nope, yeah. Should be 27. That's 26 and a half. Why? That's odd. I swear I made enough where we would have 2 left over. But yeah, as you can see, we are at 27 Eterna, 15 Quanta, and 73 Arcana, which is really nice. Because if we come over here and look at our enchantments, well, it's kind of hard because you don't really see the level, but it will a higher level stuff. But if we do want to upgrade this one more, we can technically go ahead and make these crystalline shells, which will also increase the quanta a little bit. And to get this, you'll just need some prismarine crystals, which you get from destroying sea lanterns, which in this mod pack, there's actually a way of getting those sea lanterns, which is pretty cool. And let's take a couple of them. I don't think I need to take all of them, just in case. Come up here, and let's get this done real quick. Crystals. Get rid of that. Let's see, do I have a crafting table that I could bring with us? Doesn't really show us. Okay, cool. I do. Just so I could craft it down here and see how many I actually need, because we technically only need to hit 30 real quick. So we'll start with 5 of them, and what was it, like that? Yep, So we'll do this and toss these guys down. I'll put them down over here. I was gonna do it on the top, but we don't really need to do that. And we're at 24. Arcana. Okay, so let's do a couple more and see how this looks. Boom. And it looks like we are at 30 with 77 Arcana. Looks like that went up a little bit. And then our quanta did go up, which will help randomize our enchantments, which could be a 50-50 of whether that's good or bad. And we can always make slight modifications by removing these guys and putting these guys if you keep getting cursed enchants. Just a little FYI, just because I don't think you could be able to make the enchantment library just yet, or I could be wrong. No? Yeah, looks like we can make the enchantment library. We just need to make a couple more deep fills as well as ender chests and enchanting tables. So even if you are getting cursed items, it doesn't really matter too much, just because you could throw it in this guy and be able to remove that. As for why you would want the enchantment library, well, just like in Soul Ren, I guess, yeah, because I don't really have all the stuff to make it right now. I'll probably go over that later, but all I gotta say is you enchant books, you toss it into that library, and you can make some customized sets, which is what you are going to need. But yeah, just like that, we have done our R's, and we upgraded our enchantment setup. And all that there is left to do is to enchant our gear, but I did enchant a couple things. Here we do have Magic and Devour. That's two of the things we want. I do want to get Unbreaking at least and throw it on top of that. And then for this one has Protection, R's, and some Fire Protection. What I would also like is to get Unbreaking on this as well as Devour. The reason why we do want Devour is because if you read the little description, it does heal our weapon upon slaying an enemy. Well, I said this is a chest plate. I'm not sure if it also applies to this, but if it does, that'll be super cool. If not, then I guess after we fight a couple bosses and we are at a point where we are losing fights without having to try prepping for it, then we'll build a little villager farm so that we can get some mending. That would be super cool. But besides that, I do actually have books for our gear so that we don't have to keep enchanting it and grindstoning it, just because that can get annoying. So let's actually start with our boots. Look at that. As you can see, these enchantments have increased a little bit, so now we are getting Unbreaking 4, we're getting Blast Protection 5 instead of 3, we're going 4. So it is increased a bit, and if we look at this, looks like this is pretty solid. The only thing I could probably ask more of is some sort of, oh, look at that, we got R's and Devour, which is the two things that I was hoping for. Sweet. Just like that. We can stop enchanting this just for right now, so we'll put it like that. And then next is our helmet. So I'll just throw this back on. As for our helmet, let's see what we get. So magic protection, huge. R's, okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, okay, sweet. I did not forget about this. Perfect. So we got another R's. So this one was R's regen. This is R's boost, Unbreaking, and Devour, as well as a few other protections. Cool. So I guess that'll work out for this. So we'll put that there, put our helmet here, and re-equip it. And then, as I said, for these guys, I'm hoping to get Devour as well. So let's try the leggings now. And just like that, we did get Devour. The only issue is that life mending, which could be annoying, but how I said, I'll make that library and then I'll fix that up later, as well as include more enchantments. For now, I just want to kind of get a small little enchantment base going, just to show you guys what we are working with and going for. Yeah, if we enchant this, boom, Devour, Regen, Frost. I think this already has some sort of protection, yeah, but yeah, okay, cool. I still want Unbreaking, so And just like that, we got Unbreaking as well as a couple more things, which is super solid. And just like that, we kind of effectively got all the enchants that I kind of was hoping for our armor set, which is pretty good. But since I just found out I could make that library, I am most likely going to do that and find a way to increase our armor even more. Let's see, besides that, what else did I want to do this episode? I don't know if I could show you guys that I did remove the farms and made it flat again so that we can actually start building. I do plan on kind of destroying a bit of the wheat farm just to make it a little more round, so I will attempt to cut a piece of it off and see how it looks from above, and then surround the rest of this with wheat, let it grow, and see how that all looks together. But yeah, looks like I kind of did what I really wanted to, but I guess it would be pretty cool to make these swords, and I will show you guys that I do have the materials, just because the two harder materials to get from all this is the divine rubies, which if we come over here and just put divine, we have quite a few from our mob farm. Besides that, it would probably be these brilliant diamonds, just because it does require 4 diamonds and some blaze powder to get one of these, which we are going to need, I believe, 10, so that's 10 diamonds, as well as 10 blocks of lapis lazuli, but that's only 90, so we have more than plenty on that end. And if we come over here to diamonds, we do have 72 diamonds, as well as some ore, so we do have more than plenty. I'm just saying this right now, just so you guys won't be too surprised when I craft it offline, just because I do plan on crafting it and then maybe seeing what stuff we could throw on these weapons to get them to do as much damage as possible. So I'd rather show off the finished product rather than us getting to it, just because I am a little particular about my gems. As you can see, I do save a lot of them, and when I do say a lot, I do have a ton, and they are of all variety levels, from cracked all the way to some of them being flawless. I do not have any perfect currently, so yeah, I don't want to waste your guys' time just looking at each and every single gem, just so you guys are like, oh, come on, get it over with. So I'll probably get that done. How I said, I'll probably get the library done. I'll get the enchantments needed to get our gear fully stacked, or as stacked as it can be for now, and maybe add a couple more gems to our gear. But yeah, for sure, next episode I will take you guys into fighting a couple more bosses before we get into building and probably a little more optimizing. But for right now, let's see what I can do with y'all. I mean, enchantments, no, yeah, it looks like that's probably where I probably wrap up this episode, just proving that I can actually make this stuff, because that diamond, making those brilliant diamonds I should say, is probably the hardest part. Because if we come over here, making this dust requires a netherite, but we can get that pretty easy just farming scrap, not even having to go mining, but we can always go mining. And then if we click over here, it just, to make this guy, is 2 bright steel. We have tons of bright steel. It's just, like, again, the brilliant diamond. That's why I said it's gonna take us about 10, just because we are going to need to craft these guys and those guys, which that's what, 4 diamonds, 8 diamonds right there, just for making this guy. And then this one also required, no, this one doesn't require a diamond, just a diamond sword, which is nice. And then this guy, a brilliant diamond here. This guy, you see, that's basically another 8 diamonds once again, so that's 12 diamonds just right there. And then this guy is basically another light core, which is basically another 8 again, so that's 24, I believe, 24 diamonds that goes into this, and then another 8 that should go into that, so that's 32. I'm just estimating up to 40 diamonds that we are going to lose to get that stuff. But yeah, just like that, as you guys can see, we have our crazy stats, or our crazy setup, that allows us to do some insane damage. And the next boss we fight is probably going to suffer quite a bit because they're going to teach us how much damage we can truly do with ours. Just because that Iron Golem with 260 health kind of disappeared a little too quickly to figure anything out. But let's see who's going to be next on our list. If we come over here, the next guy is the Netherman, the Architect of Chaos. He can be summoned by filling the Great Chalice with Great Essence, then adding Radiant Essence, which, if I'm not wrong, it's just Great Essence mixed with Nether Star. Yeah, this guy. Yep, just a small one with another star, and we should get this Radiant Essence. And then to get the Great Essence is just for these guys right here. And it looks like that'll be pretty easy because all we have to do is take this chalice over there, fill it up. I'll probably right click it with that Radiant one, and then boom, we'll spawn the boss. I've never fought him before, I've never seen him before, so chances of us getting one shot, I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know. See if we can spawn him here. If not, then we'll probably end up fighting him in the Nether, just because that makes the most sense. Yeah, it doesn't really say where he could be spawned, it just says how you spawn him. So we'll try here. If not, then, you know, it'll work in the Nether. And then after that, I guess it would probably be smart of me to do this offline and struggle or find the netherite monstrosity lair, just so that when we do fight this guy and when we beat him, if we beat him, we can immediately move on to this guy and beat him. Just because after we beat the netherite monstrosity, theoretically, there's two bosses that I've fought many times and have lost to that we should be able to beat. One being the Dead King, this guy again, and the other being the Void Blossom. I've fought this guy in the old Cisco's mod pack and was beaten by him every single time, managing to only hit him once with a sword before dying every time. So this might have to be a magic fight, and now that our stuff has been increased, let's see if our sword and magic combo can do something to him. But I also plan on hopefully finding a way to get a lightning of a bottle so that we can increase our lightning spell repertoire so we can do more damage. Because if we take a quick look, this guy now does 46.9 damage every time we use it, but it is AoE, and I'm pretty sure it's also explosive based, so it technically does a little more damage than it gives off, but I could be wrong. But yeah, quick look at the stats before we wrap it up. Armor, insanely high. Armor pierce, pretty good. Let's see, what's also important? Arrow damage, probably saying that it's 143. Pretty good. It's basically 50% more damage, as well as adding some velocity to it will also increase the damage, as well as when we do make our bow, we will be able to put gems onto it to increase its velocity and arrow damage, as well as draw speed, as well as throw some enchantments on it. So look forward to that in the next episode. I will have, or I should have, our new swords, a new bow, and our equipment fully enchanted for the boss fights. Let's see, Ars mana, nearly 500, spell power, 500, which is insane. And then attack speed, 5. Well, let's do this. Actually, hover on our sword to see the proper stats. So our current attack damage is 51. That's pretty solid. Let's see, attack speed, 4. Okay. Blood spell power, just because we do have the percentages, we're at 2.3, which means it does a little bit of damage. And if we come down a little bit, our crit chance is currently 48%. I do plan on reforging those swords to have at least 70%, or close enough so that I can throw a couple more crit chances to ensure that it hits 100, and then find a way to increase the crit damage so that we can do some nutty hits. And then here, crit damage, we're currently at 181%, which means it's a times, and we're basically 1.8 times the damage, so 55 at 1.8 is probably what, 90 on a crit. I'd like to assume, yeah, 55, 90 should be about. Let's see, spell power for enter stuff, 2.6. We'll probably have to look at a couple of those spells, see what the damage output is for those. And then experience gained, 557%. Kind of the reason why we get a ton of XP now. Let's see. Evocation power, 2.3. Fire spell power, 1.6. So, doesn't really do crazy damage. And where is our holy magic? So lightning is actually 5.87, which is pretty good. I think there might be like two things that I could probably reforge over here to add a little bit more lightning power damage. Hopefully get it above 6, just so that we can do a little bit more damage. That's nice. Max health, 56. That's always nice. And nature, 2.27. Let's see, protection pierce, flat reduction to armor's protection point. So, ooh, that's actually nice when fighting bosses. Reach, don't really care, that's more for building and mining. And speed, 200%. So we are pretty fast. Whenever we do go to the nether, we'll probably be at like 170, which isn't bad. I mean, we're already 70% faster, which is cool. So can't complain there. And swimming speed, 200%. Who cares? Where was my holy spell power? That's the last one that I kind of want to go over because it's decently high. Okay, so that's lightning, ice, holy, there it is, 7.1. So it is currently our highest one when it comes to iron spells, which is super nice because if we come over here and look at this, look at that. Our hand does 10 damage. So if we remove that, technically our spell does 48 damage. And I don't know if you guys remember in the beginning, but this damage was like maybe an additional 20 at tier 1. But yeah, now that we are actually at a decent level, we're adding pretty good multiplier to our stats. We do some fat damage. So let's take a quick look again. 58, casual total. But if we hold this guy and do that again, 100. 100. Doubled it. That's insane. And then, of course, if we look at all our other stats, it does reflect it depending on whether if they are also within the holy or lightning or whatever the case may be. But yeah, fire, as you saw, it was like 1.6 or 165%. So not really that strong, but look at our fortify, 19 hearts. That's superb. Healing, basically 20 health compared to before where it was like 9. That's massive. That's oh, we're almost dead. Boom, save. Basically nearly full health. Boom, we're almost dead again. Boom, 1 greater heal. Max health. Insane recovery. The only thing to do is maybe look into this, see if this is a nature spell. If it is, I do believe we're at like 2.6, so it should be pretty decent whenever we use it. And then, I said, for the lightning stuff, I do plan on destroying some spells and combining inks, and then maybe trying to be sneaky over in the catacombs to hopefully get another ink, or look for a little Rs or Iron Spells boss, take him out, hopefully get something of value. And let's try this out. Boom. Gone. Never existed. As it should be. But yeah, just like that. Went over the stats, went over the little upgrades, went over how we could increase the damage for our spells and reduce the amount of mana when using each spell, as well as upgrading our enchantment setup. So, with that, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that like button. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, feedback, and or suggestions or advice, make sure to leave it down in the comments. I will do my best to get to your comments as soon as possible. Should at longest take me 2 to 3 days to get to it, but for the most part, I usually check every day just because I am doing my best to get you guys some content. So if it's not every day, it's every other day minimum, with the latest of 3 days to get you guys something. So yeah, make sure to interact if you guys are interested, and if you guys want to keep following along with us in our series, make sure to subscribe and make sure that notification bell is enabled so that you guys will be notified whenever I do upload another video. So with that, guys, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, peace.